2 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's reset. I don't have the energy for this shit. Fucking Cybermen. Don't know why their info just never dropped on anything. DBZ Space never updated. I never saw anything on Twitter about them. If they were there, it wasn't by anyone I'm following. They just didn't fucking exist. So we're taking a look at them now. We're going to start off with the green one, the OG. I'm just going to boost them all up to 14 stars. Haven't done the event yet. I literally just downloaded. I just opened the fucking app. So here we go. 14 stars, green Cyberman, 2.4 million health, 236,000 strike, 206,000 blast, 160,000 strike defense, 159,000 blast defense. Pretty good defenses. Got to keep in mind, these are free EXs. These are free extreme units, so those stats are not bad. Pretty good defenses. Strike and blast are normal. Super attack is acid. Deals major impact damage, 100% chance to inflict strong poison. All right, that's fine. Green card, plus 20% the damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Reduce next damage received by 30%, cannot be stacked. That's actually pretty good combined with his pretty decent defenses. The thing that I'm most excited about, the ability to explode upon people. Deals major self-destruct damage, whatever the fuck. The self-destruct damage does not depend on your own health, but deals a fixed amount of damage. So what that means is, regardless of the type advantage, regardless of the typing, regardless of the stats, this thing will always do the same amounts of damage. And it'll do the same amount of damage to a blue hero unit as it will to a 14-star Zenkai 7 LF Frieza. It will do the same damage to every unit in the game because it is a fixed amount of damage. Following effects occur while there are 3 battle members remaining upon activation, plus 70% to awaken arts damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, and inflicts enemy with no switching. So if everyone is still alive, you lock them in and it does 70% more damage. Now, with this, I do believe that reduced damage and other forms of sustained damage cut can tamper the amount that this actually does, but it's still going to do 70% more damage regardless, right? But obviously, someone who's rocking, like maybe some cover cut is not going to take as much as someone who's not. But self-destruct, fixed amount of damage, will always do the same. And if there's someone else, if there's 2 other battle members, if everyone's alive, then you do 70% more damage on top of that. So that's how that works. You get to explode upon people, and obviously they want you to use this with everyone alive because he gives death buffs, which we will get to in a second. Main ability, draw the self-destruct, restore allies' health other than this character by 10%, plus 20% the damage inflicted by allies for 60 timer counts. Now, I'm going to assume the reason why it's only 10% is probably because one of the other Cybermen is likely going to be able to heal the whole team. So they probably don't want to give you, 2 or 3 different 30% healing buffs. The Z ability is 35% to tag Minion or episodes Saiyan Saga Z strike and blast attack during battle. Honestly, if all of these Cybermen come out really good, the Minion tag is looking like a truly viable tag that's completely free to play, which is pretty cool. Unique number 1, applies the following effects itself from battle start for 60 timer counts, plus 70% to damage inflicted, cannot be canceled. That is not typed there at all. That's not there at all. I'm so used to saying that shit when it comes to Zenkai units. These cannot be canceled, cannot be stacked nonsense. I'm so used to saying that shit. Reduce damage received by 30%, and then plus 70% to key recovery. That's a lot of key recovery. Pretty decent amount of damage. It pretty much negates the fact that his offensive stats are not very good. And then 30% reduced damage is going to go really well with his pretty decent defenses. So next one, the following effects occur when this character is defeated. Plus 30% to damage inflicted by allies, plus 40% to allies' key recovery, applies attribute upgrade, shortens substitution count by 2 to allies, and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade, plus 20% to slice damage received. Slice damage. Do they have slice? Oh, okay, yeah. Their strike cards are slice. Makes sense. They've got those big-ass claws. So that does make sense. So it's actually interesting that he gives them all, essentially just makes them all have -2 sub count. This doesn't say that it lasts a certain amount of time or anything. They all just have this buff. Any unit in the game just gets this buff if this Cyberman dies, which is actually pretty cool. He seems like he's going to be a pretty good death buffer. Moving on to the blue one over here. Go ahead and get those max stats. This one is a range type. The other one was a melee type. So we got 2.3 million health, 234,000 strike, and blast. So pretty even on the offensive stats. He's got like 600 more blast attack, but you know, that's whatever. 155k on the strike defense, 153k on the blast defense. Holds a strike and a blast. So all in all, balanced stats. It's an EX. Again, you got to remember this. These are extreme units. They've got access to some really busted equips because they're extreme units. So extreme unit stats are never going to be overwhelming unless you're fucking Jiren. And yeah, these stats are perfectly fine for an extreme unit. There's nothing really wrong here. Normal strike and blast, super attack, major impact damage, plus 20% to special move damage for 3 timer counts. Fine, whatever. Basic, but whatever. Green card, restores own ki by 45. That's already good. That by itself is already good. 45 ki, basically half your ki. Like, that's really good. Plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, plus 30% to next special move damage inflicted cannot be canceled. So, if you pop this green card into a super, he's doing 50% extra damage with this super attack. That's actually going to matter a lot. Main ability, draw a special move arts card next, restore own ki by 40, 30% the damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. So already we've already seen a bit of damage here. Green card gives him 20, main ability gives him another 30, so that's 55% damage inflicted right there. Z ability is 35% to tag minion or episode Saiyan Saga Z, strike and blast attack. So 2 double attack buffers already. I believe the other one was double attack. I'll go back and check. First unique ability, applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 80% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Reduce damage received by 30% for 10 timer counts. Plus 20% to special move damage inflicted activates 3 times. Minus 20 to special move arts cost cannot be stacked. So this guy really seems like he wants to be using those blue cards. Let's just say you have a blue card in your hand. You really want to give it to this one. You want to save it for this one. You don't want to use it on any of the other Cybermen. You definitely want to try and use it on this one. He's stacking a lot. Like, let's just look at all of these without even looking at the next unique. Let's just look at all these real quick. So the green card gives him 30%. And then the super itself gives him 20, so that's 50. And then with his normal damage buffs, 30% with the main ability. So that's 80% to the special move. And then he gets 80% for entering the battlefield. That's 160 plus another 20%. He's getting he's basically going to do, if you manage to pop a green card and the main ability, that next super attack is doing 180% more damage. Like, that's actually insane. Second unique ability, applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield according to the number of defeated battle members. 1 or more, reduce damage received by 20% for 15 timer counts. 2 members, draw a special move arts card next. So so this one's definitely the one that's probably going to be like, you know, if he's your last stand, you really want to bank on just like nuking the shit out of someone with that super attack. That's what I'm getting from this. Perhaps maybe you rush with this guy with like 2 supers in your hand, and it's just like guaranteed to kill any unit in the game. So very blue card heavy. We'll see if there's like, if any of them maybe hold a blue card. I doubt it. I highly doubt that. But I'm not like overly impressed with this one, simply because being so reliant on the blue card isn't amazing. However, he does have enough damage buffs just naturally to still be able to put up some good numbers, so it's fine. Taking a look at the yellow one next, go ahead and put you at 14 stars. We're looking at 2.5 million health, 222,000 strike and blast attack, very even again. 163k on the strike defense, 162k on the blast defense. Very defensive. He is a defense type, so he's got lower offensive stats, very even though. And then he's got very high defenses, so that makes sense. Defense types are usually tricky. Being a defense type and an extreme usually don't work out, but it worked out for Rowberry very well. Like, probably one of the most slept on units in the entire game right now. So we'll see if it works out for the Cyberman here. Strike and Blast are normal. Super Attack deals major impact damage. Inflict enemy with attribute downgrade plus 25% the damage inflicted for 25 timer counts on hit. That's gonna matter. If they're not immune to that, 25% for 25 timer counts. So even if they swap out, by the time they come back in, you're not keeping a unit out just entirely for 25 counts. It's usually not going to happen. So this will still be active when they come back in, provided the super doesn't kill them to begin with. Taking a look at the green card, 30% the damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, already good. Plus 20% to special move damage inflicted for 20 timer counts and cancels own abnormal conditions. So it's interesting that it cancels abnormal conditions, not attribute downgrades. If I had to pick one of the two, I'd rather go with attribute downgrades. However, abnormal conditions are fairly common, so it's not the end of the world that it only nullifies or cancels the abnormal conditions, so that's fine. Taking a look at the main ability, restore ally health by 30%. Yes, I was right. This is why the normal Cyberman only does 10%, because this guy's doing 30. So between the two, if you have them both on your team, if you're running the green and the yellow together, which makes sense actually, because yellow covers the green's weakness to purple, that's 40% healing, and then the main ability is what cancels the attribute downgrades. I kind of wish it was reversed. I kind of wish the green card canceled the attribute downgrades and maybe the main ability canceled abnormal conditions, but at the end of the day, it's fine. Z ability plus 35% to tag Minion or Saiyan Saga Z, strike and blast defense. So here's our first double defense buffer, very good. Unique number 1, applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield according to the number of defeated battle members. 0 battle members defeated, reduce damage received by 30%. 1 battle member, reduce damage received by 30% and draw a special arts card next, activates once. 2 battle members plus 80% to damage inflicted, plus 80% to key recovery, and draw a special move arts card next. So when he's a last stand, when this guy's a last stand, he's going to start doing damage. I think the main purpose of this unit is just to absorb hits at the beginning, but you want to keep this guy alive so that as a last stand, he can really just start pumping out that damage. So next unique, reduce damage received by 40% when changing cover, and then 70% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts when activated. So when he changes cover, he's getting that 40%, and then when that's over, he's getting 70% damage inflicted, which is pretty damn good. I mean, like, because on top of him getting the 30% just for entering the battlefield just naturally, that's a 70% cover cut. Like, there's actually going to be plenty of units that just straight up can't kill him without a rush. I would say the only way you're killing this Cyberman in any scenario without a rising rush is if you have an extremely powerful red unit hitting him. And I mean, like, super powerful or super high start. Like, grade 8 Vegeta could do it at, like, maybe 8-9 stars. But, like, honestly, like a 3-star grade 8 Vegeta, honestly, probably can't even kill this guy from full health with 70% cut without a rush. It's just not going to happen. So he's very tanky, decent last man standing. 80% damage is always good. Pretty well designed. Again, nothing game-breaking. It's definitely not Rowberry. There's no endurance here. There's no sub-count manipulation, right? It's definitely not as good as Rowberry, but I understand them not making him as good as Rowberry because you can run the Cybermen and the Apul squad together. So having 2 units like that on the same team, it might get a bit ridiculous, and these are free units, so, might not want to make it too broken now. Taking a look at this one right here, I with the darkened tint, I can't tell if that's purple or pink. I don't care. Get him the 14 stars. This one is a range type. 2.2 million health, so that's actually the lowest amount of health we've seen so far. 217,000 strike, 234,000 blast. So this one does not have balanced stats. Definitely more blast heavy. 160,000 strike defense, 154,000 blast defense. Not bad strike defense. Could be a bit more on the blast defense. Did I say that twice? Good strike defense, middling blast defense. It's fine. Again, I'm not too worried. Pretty high critical rate, actually. A 5k crit is actually pretty damn good as well. Pretty good key restore speed as well, 2.4. None of the other ones really seemed high enough for me to talk about them, but those two are actually really good. Strike and Blast are normal. Super Attack deals major impact damage, randomly draws one new card upon activation. That is very powerful. We all know how powerful LF Frieza's ability to draw a card after the blue card is. So this will actually be very good, and it is a blast blue card. So yeah, you could definitely catch people off guard with this. Like, one of the things that makes LF Frieza so annoying to fight is he'll buzz you with the fucking super, but then you're not expecting him to then draw another super with it, so someone just immediately does it again and it just screws you over, right? So that's actually a pretty powerful effect for a blue card to have. Green card, restore own key by 20%, or by 20, yeah, plus 20% the damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, minus 10 to own blast arts cost for 10 timer counts. So it's an okay green card. It's definitely not the best one we've seen so far, but for what he wants to do, it's absolutely fine. Minus 10 to blast arts is very good. If this guy has any form of card draw speed, then this green card is really going to be like overpowered as hell. Main ability, restores own key by 30, 50% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. There's the card draw speed. Increase own arts card draw speed by 1 level for 10 timer counts. So I think what you will probably want to do, pop the main ability, and then pop a green card. And then that's when you're just going to be able to do blast after blast after blast, right? It's just going to be so easy to combo, and he gets that 50% blast damage buff there. So actually a pretty powerful combination of the blue card with the main ability. I would probably, and it doesn't really matter which one you pop first, obviously, but yeah, it's a pretty powerful combination right there. Z ability plus 35% to tag Minion or episode Saiyan Saga Z, blast attack, and defense. First, unique ability. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Restore key by 30, plus 50% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Reduce damage received by 25% for 10 timer counts. Increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be stacked. I want you to keep in mind, that did not have a timer count attached to it, which means he has permanent card draw speed, which means on the main ability, he gets 10 counts of level 2 card draw speed. That in combination with this green card, lowering the blast arts cost, that is going to be incredibly powerful, holding 2 blast cards there as well. This guy is actually going to be a comboing monster. He's going to be able to do a lot in terms of, blast card usage. You build this Cyberman specifically on like a blast heavy team, he's going to be pumping out damage, and he's going to be doing a lot of it. He's going to be using a lot of cards, get that sub count down, just drain the opponent's health. He's going to be doing a lot, actually. This one's looking pretty good. Second unique ability, applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed with current character. 3 counts plus 30% to blast damage inflicted. 6 counts, draw a blast arts card next, activates 3 times. 9 counts plus 40% to damage inflicted. Effects reset after character switch. So this is very possible. Actually, 9 counts? Like, in 9 counts, you still wouldn't be able to switch if you had swapped, quick enough. So it's very possible to keep this guy in for 9 counts, especially with the card draw speed. This guy's going to be doing a lot of damage. This one's going to be doing a crap ton of damage. This is definitely I want to say glass cannon, but, the defenses aren't horrible or anything, but that blast defense isn't exactly great. The strike defense is good, though. But yeah, this guy's a blast-heavy just cannon. He just gets in and just beats the hell out of you. I really like this one. This one's very offensive. Next one, this one's also red, so we got 2 red units. So that's interesting. This one is a melee type. Let's go ahead and get you to 14 stars. And yes, well, no, that was the one I was just on, Tenenman.
Oh, you're looking at Jinkoman now.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at 2.3 million health, 238,000 strike, 206,000 blast, 162,000 strike defense, 157,000 blast defense. Pretty good critical and key restore speed as well. So it seems like the inverse of the other one. The other one's more blast-based. This one's more strike-based, obviously. Strike and blast are normal. Super attack deals major impact damage, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts upon hit. That's fine. Green card randomly draws one new card. Restore your own key by 40 plus 25% to special move damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. This can be stacked, by the way. So you use 2 of these green cards. Oh boy, not only are you guaranteed to have enough key to use the super, but it's going to hit like a goddamn truck. It is a forward lunging super, though, and it does not have blast armor. So do be aware of that before you just go ahead and click 2 green cards and then just hit the super expecting it to land. Main ability, plus 35% the damage inflicted. Reduce damage received by 25% for 25 timer counts, plus 60% to key recovery. It's an okay main ability. I almost said unique ability because that seems like more of a unique ability more than a main ability. This is just something you want to pop immediately, right? Just pop it right away. Just boom, have the buffs. The only one that's timed is the reduced damage, so you'll have the other 2 unless they get canceled. So it's an okay main ability. It doesn't blow me away, but it's fine. Z ability, plus 35% to tag Minion or episode Saiyan Saga Z, strike, attack, and defense. Perfectly fine. All right, going on to the uniques. Applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. Draw a strike arts card next, activates 3 times. Very powerful. Restores key by 20, 30% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, reduce damage received by 10% for 10 timer counts. So 10% is not a lot, but in conjunction with the 25% that he's getting from the main ability, he might actually be able to do a bit of tanking once the main ability is popped for those 10 timer counts. And then second unique ability, applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield according to the number of defeated battle members. 0 battle members defeated, plus 70% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and reduces damage received by 20% for 10 timer counts. So we've got 20 here, 10 here, and then 25 here. He's actually going to be doing some pretty decent tanking. 1 battle member, 80% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts and reduces damage received by 25% for 10 timer counts. And then 2 battle members defeated, plus 90% to damage inflicted and reduce damage received by 30%. So that's just pure damage. So when he's last stand, it's not just strike damage anymore. It's 90% to all damage and 30% reduced damage. So actually, it might actually be in your best interest to save the main ability. Save it for if this guy's a last man standing, because then you get, 55% reduced damage on top of the, 35 and 90, on top of the 125% damage inflicted. That's going to be a lot. So again, this guy is the same as the other one, just hit really hard, just this one on the strike. And then finally, we got the black one. We got Copy Man over here. 14 stars, 2.2 million health, 234,000. He's a support type as well. 234,000 strike, 217,000 blast, 156,000 strike defense, 154,000 blast defense. He is a support type. His stats are really bad. Being a support type and an extreme unit is a really bad combination. That's not good for you at all, but we'll see what his abilities are, see if it makes up for it. Strike and Blast are normal. Super Attack deals major impact damage, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 15% to damage received for 15 timer counts. Perfectly fine. Green card randomly destroys, randomly draws one new card, randomly destroys one new card. Yeah, how the hell does that work? I'm tired. Randomly draws one new card and randomly destroys one enemy card, plus 20% to damage inflicted by allies for 15 timer counts. So he's buffing up the allies with this green card, can destroy one of your opponent's card, which can come in real clutch, because in situations where, say, you know your opponent only has maybe like an ultimate in their hand, you can pop the green, boom, there goes the ultimate. So this can actually be very powerful. And again, having a green card that draws a new card is also very strong. And being able to buff up the allies as well is always good. Main ability, restore own key by 50 plus 20% to damage inflicted by allies for 20 timer counts. Shortens ally sub count by 5. Very powerful. We all know how powerful sub count manipulation is. It's probably the single most powerful effect in the entire game. And -5 on the main ability is very good. Z ability is 35% to tag Minion or episode Saiyan Saga Z, strike and blast defense. So, perfectly fine. We have 2 double attack buffers, 2 double defense buffers, a blast attack and defense, and a strike attack and defense. Perfectly even. First unique ability, while this character is on the battlefield, the following effects are applied to self when enemy switches characters. Draw a special arts card next, activates 3 times. Restore ally health by 5%, activates 5 times. 5% is not a lot. I feel like they could have made that permanent, but at the same time, while he's on the field, you essentially do get 25% healing whenever the enemy switches. Well, if they switch 5 times, so it's not bad. Plus 20% to damage inflicted by allies for 15 timer counts. So perfectly fine. If the enemy switches, you then switch out and then your next unit does more damage. Second unique ability, applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 60% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Reduce damage received by 30% for 10 timer counts. The following effects are applied to all enemies when this character is defeated. Inflicts attribute downgrade plus 40% to damage received for 40 timer counts. Inflicts attribute downgrade minus 80% to key recovery for 15 timer counts. Inflicts 5 substitution counts. So what that means is I guess it's going to lock your opponent's unit in for 5 counts, which is very powerful because you use up their vanish, they kill this guy, and you just fucking rush them. Like that's extremely powerful. I would definitely say the Apul squad had bigger outliers. Ramon and Rowberry, especially, I think are better than all of the Cybermen. However, I do think as a whole, all 6 Cybermen are better than the Apul squad, because with the Apul squad, really the only 2 good ones were Ramon and Rowberry. Apul was serviceable as a support unit, but you weren't gonna really run him. And obviously Rowberry made this huge impact on the Freezer Force team. But as a whole, as a team, the Cybermen, I feel like I could run a full Cybermen team. I never felt like I could run a full Apul squad team, because I didn't think it was strong enough. But I honestly do think I could run a full Cyberman squad and most likely get away with it. The only thing that's not here is endurance. And honestly, if you're that worried about it, just slap Rowberry on the team as your red unit. Like, genuinely. Unfortunately, the 2 biggest damage dealers on the team are both red. So, I mean, that does kind of conflict a little bit. But if you really wanted to, you could run like a red-green setup, and with this green Cyberman or Ramon, like you could use this green Cyberman and just sack him off with the self-destruct to boost everyone up, or you could use Ramon and just focus on damage and let Rowberry be your dedicated tank. You could do whatever you want with the Minion tag, and it's building up to be a pretty decent tag. Like whenever we get like a good Cell Junior, like that'll pretty much be the Minion tag complete. That is the Cyberman. This Minion tag is definitely building up to be really damn good, and I look forward to seeing how they perform in PvP. So that's gonna be it for this video, and yeah, I'll see y'all later. I am tired.